In today's video, I'm going to be talking about how to save money while traveling. I thought this video would be quite helpful for some people as holidays are coming up and I know a lot of people, including myself, are going traveling. So I've done lots of research in how to save money while traveling. Something that I have found very helpful while traveling is rather than staying in really expensive hotels, then try looking to Airbnb. I found that really helpful, and it's a whole different way of traveling and experiencing travel because it's more homely and yeah, it's just really cool. And then also hostels, or even if you know people that live in the countries you're visiting, try find some connections to make it as cheap as possible. Another really helpful tip that I think is really helpful when it comes to saving money is trying not to eat out as much. Try and buy your own food and then make it. Not only is that really fun, especially if you're with some friends or a boyfriend or girlfriend, it's just a whole different experience. Obviously, it's really important to go out and eat and experience that culture's food, but if you want to save some money, I would suggest making your own food. And that is also why Airbnbs can be really helpful, because then they will typically have an oven and cooking utensils, whereas a hotel mostly won't provide that. Something else that has really helped me as I've been planning all my exciting trips coming up is really planning in details your trips to try and work out how much you think you'll be spending per country and an allowance you want to have for yourself on a daily basis if you're on a budget. So I think really planning it just so you get an idea how much money things are going to cost from country to country, just so you're prepared. Location is key when you're traveling. Make sure that you're in a place where you know it's close to everything that you want to see and do in those countries, because if you're really far out, although it may be cheaper, if the transport to get to the places you want to be is going to be really expensive, it might not end up being cheaper at all. So make sure you look into all of that. Location is just really important, because then you can walk or bike ride to places which is free or cheaper as well. Although you can't really do very much about this, but if possible, it is good to travel out of season. If you're traveling in the summertime, which I will be, it is a lot more expensive. So if you can try and do it outside those frames, you'll find everything drops because it's not as popular. The weather may not be as great, but there'll also be a lot less tourists and things like that. So if you really want to save money, then try go out of season. Just little small things like remember to bring a drink bottle with you if you're going to be out all day, instead of getting really thirsty and then having to buy drink bottles. I found that was a little mistake I came into when I was last out traveling. So definitely bring a drink bottle with you, so just to save money in just that way. And another little tip that I have found somewhat helpful is that if you're traveling with, for example, one other person, if you can, try and share between one suitcase rather than the both of you paying for a suitcase to take along with you. It actually does save a lot of money, especially if you're doing a big trip where you're taking flights constantly. To pay for that extra luggage every time, it does actually add up. So if you can share between one person or something, it could actually save you guys both a lot of money. Another quick little extra tip is just make sure that before you go on holiday, you actually have everything you need. You don't want to forget something and then have to repurchase it. I also came into that problem last time I was out traveling, but you know, you learn from your mistakes. And yeah, so make sure you've thought of all the possible things you could possibly need just to save you a little bit of extra money. And the very last tip kind of is the same as to a tip I've already mentioned, but it's just do a lot of research, like a lot of research on every country you're going to, because you might find there's lots of areas that you actually want to see or places you want to go that are actually for free. These were all the tips I had for today. I hope there was something you could use there, and if you have any extra other tips that have really helped you while you've been traveling, please leave it in the comments below for myself and everyone else to read, just to help everyone out. That would be greatly appreciated. But other than that, I'll see you in my next video. Bye!